I'm gonna show you how you can make these kicks in Serum. We're gonna loop a note. Let's do it in D sharp or like F. So the basic setup for this is that you have oscillator A as your punch and oscillator B as your crunch. Take the randomization down so it always plays at the same part in the waveform. Obviously it just sounds like this. You can immediately make LFO look like this, LFO1, put it on envelope, and then LFO2 can look like this. And this will obviously be the crunch. Let those two just flow into each other like this. So LFO1 goes to the level of oscillator A, and LFO2 goes to the level of oscillator B. Make sure both of them are on envelope. Now separate them so that the octaves are slightly different. Obviously the crunch needs to be low. So then what you want to do is take the filter and find something like the high filter here, high 24, add resonance, drive, and a little bit of fat. And just make sure oscillator A goes through it and not B, because we only want the punch to be filtered. Then we can immediately add a multiband compressor, which is incredibly important. So take down the threshold. Then we add distortion, and you want to add diode 2 all the way up. Just want to make sure we put an inflator at the end of everything. You can also use a wave shaper, so it's at least going to squash against 0 dB and not go over it. So what do kicks also have? Well, kicks also have reverb, right? So let's add reverb in front. And let's just get the low cut in and a bit of a high cut like you would normally do punch reverb. LFO3 looks something like this, you know? Punch, crunch, and just the reverb opens up all the way. And we went from this to this. The next thing that kind of comes into play is changing oscillator B. So you might want to use another waveform, Wavetable, and it sounds different. Distortion 8-bit swap is great. Then you can take a waveform warp mode and you can put it on bend or asymmetrical, and then you get some pretty cool modes. So what works is bending minus, and then you kind of open up the sound and you get this very nice crunch. Go into distortion and see what happens if we change this distortion mode, okay? So let's start with tube. Linear fold maybe. But the crunch is cool though. 0 square is a big candidate because it's a lot of distortion. Great for up-tempo kicks. Any further, you can try Sine Shaper, or you can try Stomp Box. So another thing that happens is that you can take FM from B, so you can FM the punch based on the oscillator B. And you get this. Now you get kind of special kicks, right? This is pretty cool. The next step that you can take is adding a pitch envelope. I want to use something like this. We're going to assign it to both the coarse pitches right here, but this means we go down an octave. So let's go up an octave again. Otherwise, and now you can get into gated kick territory because you're actually, you know, moving the pitch. And as you can hear, it gets dirtier. So now we're nearly there. So the final thing I might want to do is have an envelope like this. LFO5 is going to be an envelope, and I just want to make some sort of transient shape thing. We're going to add this to the cutoff here so we get a little bit more of a click. Let's assign a few knobs. So the first one is changing the punch character, right? So we want to have more and less FM. The second thing we can do is move the cutoff, obviously. So we can call this punch 2. And just those two macros are going to result in a bunch of different punches. Ooh, that's nice. So then, because we use the bend mode, we can actually bend to this side and we get like a more airy and crunchy crunch, I guess. And then finally, a really nice trick is adding a filter in front of everything right here, putting a flanger or something weird in front, and then just squashing it. Great candidates are all the plus sections. Because I'll show you, if you go to LFO tool, which is just from Extra Records as well, you can go into the cutoff section and you can find the plus ones. And as you can see, they don't cut into the bass, while the minus ones remove the bass. And we obviously need that bass to make those kicks done well, you know, overall tone. And you can obviously just use LFO 4 as a way to easily change the pitch. So and the cool thing is you can just play a note, render it out, and as you can hear, you get like this instant kick. And I can just drag it into my mixer here, and I add some basic processing like a transient shaper to add more attack, pump, and just make it fast so it only hits the punch. And then I just add an inflator and a soft clipper. And I add Pro Q3 because I want to kind of make sure that the sub is mono. Maybe cut into it. And I can just render that out and we have our kick, you know? Like, let's see how many kicks we can make. Render that exact same one out. It's so fucking crazy. Like, literally a kick right there. Just, it's so stupidly easy to make these kicks once you know what you're doing, you know. So that's it. You can grab this whole template for free on our website. Let us know what you want to see in the future. Thanks so much for watching.